instead of having to always be on the pursuit of who am I going to call, who am I going to pursue, who is my next ideal client, but how would you like to have the problem of sifting through who's reaching out to you to really find out who those ideal prospects are? Is that a good problem to have? Let me tell you my story. I had been in the network marketing industry. I don't know if any of you know what that is. I had been a corporate financial analyst. I had 2 babies. And I thought my husband understood the deal. I said, 5 years of being married. Once we have kids, I'm staying home. Well, somehow there was communication breakdown, and that didn't quite happen. And so we tried a franchise to be able to get me to be home. That didn't generate the income that we needed. So I was still working full time, running a franchise, now had 2 babies under 2, went into the network marketing industry. And despite everybody telling me to be in sales, I was like, I'm not a salesperson. There's no way I'll ever do sales. I went into the network marketing industry and I tapped into some really key things that ended up helping us to explode. Within 6 months, we hit the top ranks. I was able to quit my corporate job. And it was such a tremendous blessing. We went on to do that at a second company. And this career in the network marketing industry of empowering entrepreneurs to reach the top ranks, to be successful, coming from somebody who in corporate, my job reviews said you're not assertive enough. So if you've ever thought I have to be pushy, I have to be salesy, I have to be assertive in order to be successful with sales, I'm here to dismiss that that's the truth. And I'm going to tell you what makes the biggest difference. And this is the key to the branding. This is the key to the positioning. It's key to people pursuing you, because that's what was happening in network marketing. People wanted to work with me. And it's the same thing with you. People are less concerned about how you create the transformation that you do. They want to know, I want to work with you. I'm going to show you how to do that. Now, what happened was 3 years ago, I said, I want to do this on my own. I don't want to just be representing a company. I love speaking. I love coaching. I love empowering people. Why don't I do that as my own company? And so I did, I think we can say this at Kelly's event. I did a very ballsy move. And I said, I'm going to leave what is familiar for me in building companies in network marketing industry, and I'm going to go out on my own. This is my dream. If I've been successful in corporate and in network marketing, which is like 80% expression of who I really am, for sure, I can pursue my dream and it's going to happen, right? So 3 years ago, I hired a coach. I paid him $40,000 to learn how to build my dream coach practice. And I worked with him for 2 years. Brilliant man. But during that time, and I sold my business, my other business, my network marketing business. And I was like, how do I do this coaching thing? How do I get my ideal clients? I was just out serving as many people as I could. I was taking courses upon courses. I was trying to do everything that they told you to do. Even a year ago, I decided, let's do this online thing. I paid a team to do Facebook ads and build my funnels and all of that. And it was like all these things were happening wrong. I was not generating the success that it was even a fraction of what I had done in the network marketing industry. What the heck? What the heck? You know, we heard all these things of chase your dream. I chased my dream. What's up? Why isn't it not working? I'm taking all the courses. I'm implementing. I was in tears with my husband. I said, what am I not getting? What am I not getting? That things seem to be clicking for other people, but they're not clicking at the same rate for me. I said, I know I'm smart. I know I can implement. And he said, babe, maybe you're going through this precisely so that you can help other people, that you can help your clients. What do you need to hear right now? I'm in tears. And I'm like, I know. What I need to hear is, Vanessa, do ABC 1, 2, 3. The how. And that's many times what we pursue in the courses and in the curriculums. And I'm going to give you some hows that worked for me, but I want you to get something that's even deeper. When he said that, to me. I was still in tears. And at that time, one of my coaches called me. Because what you don't know is that I had just taken out a 0% interest credit card, because up until that point in our lives, we had never carried credit card debt. We always paid it in full. All of a sudden, I was at our end. You can imagine $40,000 just for one coach, and like probably over $100,000 total in courses and travel and everything that I did in those 2 years' time. So now we're at like nothing. I'm like, 0% interest credit card, baby. We got an offer. Let's take it. I was going to do this online thing and hire a team to do it, and everything was breaking down. Facebook blocked my domain. The company that I had been with previously were taking legal action against me because my face had been on one of their magazines as a top income earner. Talk about personal brand. They said I was infringing on their brand by using my face. They were claiming the rights to my face because of some legal thing that said if they ever published your face, it's theirs. So you can imagine, I'm such an advocate of the personal brand that I was like, no, I own my face. I want my face back. And they said, you must shut down all your Facebook ads on Monday. You must, by 1 p.m., you must shut down all your Facebook ads. My team said, what do you want to do, Vanessa? It's Thursday. I said, run the bejesus out of those ads until Monday at noon. Then I want us to be everywhere. And then when you take it down at noon, we will be in complete legal compliance because I want my face back. All of this stuff was happening. I was like, here was our 0% interest credit card. And Facebook shut down my domain, this legal action. And I was like, it's not working. My last ditch effort of this $15,000 that I put on a 0% interest credit card, like I wasn't seeing that it was going to convert and happen. And so my coach called right in the middle of this and said, Vanessa, I was like, I'm trying to give the market what the market wants. That's what they told me to do. Give the market what the market wants. And he said, Vanessa, F the market. F the market. If this were the last year of your life, what would you do? I said, I've got to get my message out. I've got to get my message out because it took me a long time. It took me 36 years of my life to get connected with the real me. It took me 36 years of my life to get connected with my heart. And I want to combine my skills and what I've done well and what I've learned with my heart message of what I want to deliver. I don't know how. He said, well, if not now, when? And at this point, I was like, well, that's true. I mean, everything else is going to pot. If not now, when? Heck, if it were the last year of my life, I would just go and do it. And from that point, I want to tell you, we ran those ads. I did not have a sales page. Well, first I went and got booked on a bunch of television shows for a message that was very new, that I'll have what she's having, which the tagline is, become the woman you want to be by loving the woman you are. We got booked. I did not have a sales page. I didn't even really have the full clarity of what the program was going to be. But we ran those ads. I did a webinar, ran to strategy session. In the strategy sessions, we converted 100%. 100%. Because I was tapped in to what is point number 1 on your sheet. What makes you come alive? I was tapped in to what made me come alive, and my prospects on the phone could hear it in the conversation. I've gotten permission from some of my clients, those became clients, to use those recordings, because now I teach other coaches how to enroll clients. And they're like, Vanessa, like they're saying, my clients are saying they don't have money. I'm like, here, listen to this one. The girl was making $400 a month. Listen to this one. They're like, Vanessa, they didn't even ask you, you didn't even give them any details about the program, and they're signed up. All these things that we think are the reasons why people aren't signing up, it was like it became null and void because they said, I'll have what you're having. And that's what was coming across in those sales conversations. So what I'll have, what she's having, is us. What makes us say, I'll have what I'm having? What do I need to say yes to in my life for it to be the kind of life that has me say, I'll have what I'm having? What do I need to say no to? And I'm going to give you this worksheet. It's called Hell Yeah or No. And I use this religiously because this is how to practically make this in reality in your life, for this makes you come alive and tapping into creating a hell yeah life. You have to make the hell yeah decisions any time that you have a decision to make. So if you're at the store even and you pull up a shirt and you're like, I don't know, it's a no. Because on a scale of 1 to 10, if it's not a 10, call it a no. You guys are talented. And what I have seen with talented entrepreneurs is they're making the mistake of doing the 7s and 8s and 9s because they can. They're competent and they can. But what it's stealing from their life is the 10s. And sometimes you're like, I don't have the 10 yet. Make room for it by saying no to anything that's less. So on a scale of 1 to 10, you only say yes to the 10s. Everything. And I have on this sheet. I mean, anytime I feel that we're asking this question at lunch, Vanessa, do you believe in the work-life balance? I'm like, anytime I'm out of balance, I go back to my hell yeah or no worksheet. What's out of line? Who am I regularly talking to on the phone? Who am I conversation with? What are my activities? What's going on with my family, my business, my growth, education, every little category in my life of where I was spending my efforts, I would look at and say, is it a hell yeah? Is it less than a hell yeah? Maybe it's a maybe or a no. Then my goal was get everything out of the maybe column, and it had to be a hell yeah or no. Now, I'll tell you, my husband and I fought for 13 years about the finances. I'm more financially inclined than he is. You can imagine I'm a financial analyst, so it was like of course he couldn't do it quite to the same spreadsheets and all that I could, but then I always be on him like, babe, I just don't want to be doing this all by myself. It was not a hell yeah for either one of us. When you start moving things into the no category and you're creatively saying, you might not know how you're going to get it off your plate, but you're saying, how can I hire somebody else to do that so that I can be working in my brilliance zone, that brings in the most money for me. I knew I did not want my kids to see the back of my head at the sink or at the laundry. I don't even know what it is. What's it called? A washing machine. I did not want my kids to see the back of my head. I didn't want to be at home with them, working from home, and they saw the back of my head at the stove, at the sink, or at one of those washing machine things. And so I put it in the hell no column, and I was like, I don't know how. And then God brilliantly brought in this woman. I grew up in Brazil, but I've not been there for so long that my Portuguese had gone, and she was fluent in Portuguese and looking for work, and she came and she could do all that stuff for us. I mean, so clearing those things out. So how do you do that in your life to make it a hell yeah or no? That's step 1. Step 2, authenticity. Who are you really? On Facebook, I'm going to teach you strategies that is going to attract you clients that you can book an appointment and do a one-call close. That client that Kelly described from the stage that I closed at 10:05 was a one-call close from reaching out, creating that revenue income every month. And there's some things that people do mistakenly on Facebook, and that's one is they're spamming their opportunities and things on there. And two, there's not clarity, and you're not portraying this I'll have what she's having life, or what he's having for the gentleman in the room. So I'm going to, the next worksheet I'm going to hand out to you is some guidelines for your personal page and for your business page, to make certain that you have on there some really key things that are just really inexpensive, you can do right now before investing big dollars in a branding and a website. Because you probably came in here saying, oh, branding, I'm going to do my website and all that. But my strategy is to get you money without needing any of that. You guys, my website, which is like my dream website at the time being, it's not even out yet. It's been in development. But I'm going to teach you some really key things that you don't need. You need to test your message on Facebook. You need to test your message on the lower investment things before you go and invest in a big website. You need to prove that concept, because I believe, like when I was running into that, I'm trying to give the market what the market wants. I neglected to tap into what really made me come alive. And it's where that intersection of what makes you come alive and what the market needs, that's the sweet spot. And I believe that we can make money doing what we love most if we can articulate it in the voice of what our ideal clients are saying they need. And that's the marketing piece. And so on here, on your personal page, you want to just portray, and I'll have what she's having. Message, your personality, the parts of your life, your domain, your personal domain listed, your title's flexible, list a link to your business page. On your business page, a professional image. Now, some people go out and spend money on headshots and all that, but you're neglecting to bring your real personality into it. And so it's like it looks just like everybody else. Don't be afraid to do things that are really reflective of you, an environment, something that reflects who you really are. You see the one I did with my family. My family's so important to me. Put your page name is the first domain that's listed. Hyperlink it in your description. And these are simple little things. So is everybody doing this? Because a lot of pages, when I have conversations with my clients, I'm like, let me get on your Facebook page, let me see what's going on. And a couple of these key things aren't there, and you're losing people because of it. Hyperlink to your site, a description of the transformation that you offer. So, the transformation that you offer, every single one of you have a divine purpose. The clues to your purpose are in your story, your struggle, and in your soapbox. And what I've done with my clients is listened to would you guys like some of those key things to know for yourself? Because I won't have time to cover in this. If you look at the top of this sheet that I gave you, it has a text number. If you text your name and email to that, you'll get the transcriptions from this, as well as that Discover Your Purpose starter kit of stuff to ask yourself, because we won't have time to get into that here. Oh, okay. You could text it to 336-257-1988. Text your name and your email. Go ahead and do that, and it'll get it in there right away. Name and email.
Yeah, name, space, email.
Name, space, email. First name, last name, space, email to 336-257-1988. And you'll get a copy of all that. But capturing what is the key, each one of you, you know social media hashtag, right? Each one of you have a signature hashtag inside of you. Your own personal hashtag. That is what you embody in the world. And, oh, stink. I had some examples to show you, but I'll just tell you about them. most of the Facebook banners just look generic. Like I've seen, like you have photos with family, photos with friends, photos of scenery, quotes, and it's just general stuff, but it's like, I don't know why that's important to you. I don't know what that tells me about you. You've got to connect the dots online so that it's speaking to others who you really are, because they buy you first. They buy you because you're standing out. You're not looking just like everybody else on the marketplace. And so, for instance, one of my clients, she had a scene of California. She's from Palm Springs. And I said, okay, honey, I have no idea why that's important to you. I don't even know what it means about you, but I want to know about you. Tell me your story. She's from Australia. She was in the film industry. She had come to the U.S. She had started a spa. She was in the network marketing industry. She was not making much money in it. And that's why she hired me. And I said, I go, what's going on? What's your story? She said, well, my dad had a lot of money, but he became an alcoholic and lost it all. I said, how's that impacted you? She said, I've believed that success is for everybody else and not for me. And I was like, really? I said, because from an objective point of view, I can see you've been in the film industry, you've created $250,000 for your company in revenue, you've started a spa, you moved to the U.S. when you did not know how you were going to do it, you just made it happen. I go, you've created success and you've been discounting it. And she's like, oh my gosh, you're so right. And so for her, we took and created this Facebook banner that said, do you believe success is for everybody else? And you're finally ready to have it for yourself. I can help. And so she invited people to have conversations with her. And then she would say, are you ready to have success financially? Are you looking for an additional revenue stream? Here's how I can help. That's where the how came in. I could tell you countless clients. Another client, her hashtag is You Matter Too, because she always struggled with that. So as she's sharing this as her platform, it's putting it out there. So earlier this year, I'm going to give you some examples of some posts. I think they must be over here. Of some posts that I put on Facebook that created clients. Because there's 3 kinds of posts: visual, video, and written. So as you start getting clear on what your message is, and it's like I said, like the hashtag of you matter, or have you believed that success is for somebody else and you know it's for you, those things that have been your struggle that you've overcome in your life, that is your platform for your expression, and your business is the how of how you help people. So for 2014, I had created the hashtag for myself of message. When my coach said, if this were the last year, what would you do? I was like, I got to get my message out. So I'm like, hashtag message. And this was on my vision board. This picture, a stadium picture of an audience. I was like, I want to get my message out. Somebody reached out to me because of one of my posts, said, we resonate with what you're saying, who you are. Will you come speak in the Philippines? And they said, we have 2,500 people, but the night before they surprised me, I landed, they pulled me backstage at an event I didn't even know was happening at a convention and put me in front of 15,000 people. Look at the photos, you guys. Look how close they are. I put this on Facebook. I'm like, you guys, look, my aim was a message for 2014, and this is a photo. So for your photos that you're putting on, put a label. This got so many shares and posts and likes and people reaching out to me, Vanessa, I want to do the same. I want to do the same. They were able to resonate. Number 3, service. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Let me go back to so that's your visual, your video, and written posts. And so I'm going to give you an example of a written one, but service, your business is a way for you to serve others. Once you see sales as service, that you're going to help others experience that transformation that you may have experienced in your story, your struggle, or in your soapbox. Most people's soapbox is tied to something they've personally experienced or someone they know. Guaranteed, if people are being an advocate for something, ask them, what's the story behind that? Why are you an advocate for that? And you'll see, because it's story and struggle are such key drivers. And being clear about what's the problem that you solve. Most people are on pain island. They're trying to get to pleasure. I always try to get clear on what is it that's not working about their current situation, and can I help get them to the pleasure island? And so many times we get into the business of explaining all of the different ways that we get there, help them get there, and that's like saying, oh, and I've got my boat that's made out of this, so we got this kind of oars, and the wind blows at this, and the temperature of the water is this. They don't care. They want to know, can you get them there? Have you helped get other people there? That's what they want to know. Here is a post I'm going to read to you that created clients. Multiple 5-figure clients. This is written. Now, do not be afraid. And I'm going to, the anatomy of your post on Facebook is story. Plant seeds of your work. We're not talking about blatant blasting people with what you do. And then, on occasion, make it clear of how you can help them and an invitation to that. So I want you to listen to this and listen for that anatomy. This is a post. I'm not afraid of making my posts long on Facebook because I've tested content, the likes, the shares, the comments, tells me what resonates with my audience, and then I make those blog posts. I make those go into the content of my book. It's been fabulous. So I did this one little test one time, and it said your average Facebook post is 110 words. That's like a blog post for some people. So I'm going to read this to you. This is an example of a post that I would write that has that anatomy in it. See if you can listen for what resonates with an ideal prospect about this. It's amazing what you can read about a person within a few minutes of sitting next to him on a plane. We hadn't even reached a flying altitude of 30,000 feet, and it was clear the gentleman sitting next to me was successful. Someone I would describe as a person of influence. From the way he was talking, I could tell he was a networker, a network marketer, that is. I asked him directly, revealing my obvious familiarity and my instant interpretation of his coded language. We had a good laugh over it, as if we had exchanged a secret handshake and could dive right in and speak openly. It was clear he was dynamic, energetic, and driven. I was not surprised to hear of his success as a top performer in his previous company and his frequent speaking in front of large audiences. He was telling me about his transition to a new company and his hope that it would surpass his last experience. It wasn't too much later I asked him a question that I could tell stopped him dead in his tracks. I said, let me ask you something. When you're on that stage, what is your message? I mean, what is the message that you feel you're uniquely created to deliver? He was a bit struck and stammered, I don't know, maybe I'm shallow. I just want to motivate people and show them they can do it too. I replied, tell me your story. I will hear it in your story. And for the remainder of the flight, he shared his story with me. That is one of my all-time favorite things to do. To pull up a chair, grab a cup of coffee or tea, and experience the essence of an individual and hear the message and story that desires to be uncovered to take their business and impact to the next level. It was clear as day to me. His stories had clues all along of a theme, a powerful theme. I turned to him and said, this is what I hear. And this is how your impact on stage, your recruiting, and your team could be taken to the next level. He turned to me, jaw dropped, and said, "Holy beep. Do you do that with everyone? You just condensed my story just like that, and that is exactly it. That's what I'm here to share." Since then, he has such a deeper sense of meaning that what he does and his results, connection and impact, that others can feel it from this, and his leadership shows it. What about you? It is one thing to be an influencer, to have a platform. It is another to be operating fully in it. So many leaders I see are leaving out important parts of themselves and their story. Their message lacks the fire and passion of who they really are. Frequently, they're caught up in portraying an image, so they don't allow themselves to be seen, fully seen. As a result, their message begins to sound just like everyone else. They don't stand out in the marketplace, and tragically, their fullest legacy is procrastinated to the future someday. No. Whatever realm of influence you have, it can be drastically increased and expanded once you tap into that unique message within you. The message you're divinely created to deliver. A message that inspires, which means to breathe life into others and sets captives free, because that message is carried in your very cells. This is what I do with clients. And this is just part of what I'll be doing, and I just wrote at this event. And I said during this time, this is what we'll do. PM me if you would like more details. This is your time. You're designed to shine. Love and Beijus, Vanessa. Facebook post. Someone reaching out to me. Did you see the anatomy in there? Story. I hint at what I do. I even say directly what I do. And I didn't say this, but ask the question, what about you? What about you? And this was an example of a post where I actually made an invitation. I don't always do that. But people will learn more from story, and they'll be inspired by what you do by incorporating that. 4, own your thought leadership. Own your thought leadership. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Operate from your future self. Many of you are thinking, if I could do this, if I do that, if I'm successful, then I'll get all the invitations for interviews and all of that. I'm telling you guys, just own it and put it out there. Since owning message as my hashtag for 2014, I've been on dozens of television and radio and stages because I just owned it. I'm like, this is my last year, so to speak. I've got to get it out. And create your own signature program around that, or process. Don't be afraid to just own it. Own the terms. You might say, well, in the market, some people call it this, some people that. I don't care. What do you call it? Own it as your word for that. 5, create a signature brand. What's your overarching umbrella? Go high end. The breathing room is less up here. I mean, if there's the air is thinner up here, there's fewer people competing. You get in the price and looking like everybody else, how you stand out in the market is own your value at a high level. Do not pay for your website and all of that creation. Do images that reflect you, but make it so that the messaging and all that is flexible. You can test. And do all of your sessions that are prospective sessions. Every time I'm talking to somebody who's a prospect, I am listening for their words. I'm writing it down. I'm recording it, and then I go and directly and I put that on my site. I put that in my posts. I put that on any languaging. They feel like you're reading their. One woman said, Vanessa, I feel like I'm invisible online. Invisible online? I've never used that before. Do you feel like you're invisible online? That's what you're doing. So you wonder, what words do I use? How do I create powerful posts that describe what I do? Use the words of your clients or prospects. 6, get your ask in gear. You have not because you ask not. Don't be afraid to ask. Look at those kids that went up there today. He was saying, ask me. And your clients are basically saying that. If you just simply asked more, you would create more. Don't be afraid of asking in that call. If it looks like they're in, the connection is there, there's no need to have to do another conversation or a follow-up step. Is this resonating? Does this look right? Are you ready to get started? What else do you need to know to make the decision that's best for you? And get them started. If you increase your asks, you will get more. Simple as that. Hold them to the highest version of themselves. Ask more questions. Another get your asking gear is asking them more questions. And if you believe, I believe, that the majority, that means more than 50% of the transformation of what my client really wants happens when they pay. Because all of a sudden, they're saying, I'm committed to what I have been saying, and perhaps they've been saying it for years. Some people have been carrying dreams in their hearts for 20-some years. It's not that they're not chasing a dream. They just haven't committed to it. And when they put that commitment of the money, that is them getting the majority of that becoming a reality because now they've committed. Do you remember the quote that all forces come together for those who are committed and take action on what their desire is? That is a key thing. You're holding that for them. And when you back down on your price, or you back down on collecting or getting a deposit to lock it in at this rate, or I give you to the end of the day to find the money, you can PayPal it at this. If you're in, you're in. It saves your spot. You can come in later, but this is what it'll be. Like those when you believe that it's really of service to them and you're holding them to that, you can get them at those. You're seeing it as service to them, and you're not being afraid and holding back their transformation because of your fear and doubt. Well, it's such a delight to serve you. Thank you guys for honoring me with your presence here and your essence. Thank you. Come by the booth for your personal party gifts.
We would like to thank Vanessa so much for such an inspiring workshop. Give her a round of applause.
Oh, thank you.